I want to welcome you back to
The Party Line. I'm your girl, ZZJ.
And I'm Lala.
So today's topic is all about priorities. Now or later, you decide. We felt that it was such an important topic as we evolve as people and we grow. Do your priorities grow with you? One wants to know.
Know yourself, know your priorities.
Right? So priorities, priorities in the sense of your job, your lifestyle, your relationships, your everything. You know, I find that as we get older, there are certain things in our life that become more important to us. And even being in the pandemic right now, I had a conversation with a customer at the store the other day, and she was just kind of like, I feel like quarantine and COVID has brought my family closer together, and it has caused us to readjust and think about the things that are more important to us, and it's really affected how we spend our time. Even though a lot of things are shut down right now, it brings us back to our roots. And she's like, I feel like it's really important for people to just, step back and really analyze what your life is, what's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying, girl?
I hear you, girl. I mean, it's important, like, when you know what your priorities are is one thing, and then just putting that energy that it requires. Like, how important is it to you? Mm-hmm. And you got to keep that same energy 100 all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? I actually made sure to actually look up, I just wanted to know the definition. So we can tell all of our listeners, in case you're a little confused as to what priorities are, because all you ever hear is in a movie where someone's like, you need to get your priorities straight. You need to do what you got to do. So I'm just going to, read you the actual definition of a priority. All right? So a priority is a thing that is regarded as more important than another. It's pretty straightforward. It is the right to take, precedent or to proceed before others. That's like the true definition of priority. So what's important to you? How are you going to lay out all the things that are important? Right?
Exactly.
So I actually read this article online, and it's by a man by the name of Leon Ho from Lifehack. And he, posed that there are 7 priorities to have in life, that everyone should have in life. And number one is your life mission. So most people want to know, what's my purpose? It gives you meaning to life. It makes it easier for you to wake up every day. 2 is physical health. So he said physical health should be right up on everyone's top-notch list. It is one of the most crucial priorities, and it should be one of the first on everyone's list. Number 3 is quality time with familia. Quality time with family. And number 4 is healthy relationships. Number 5 is mental health, which is so important. We need to be in a very good mindset. I think all of these things kind of trickle in, but number 6 is finances. And number 7 is self-improvement. And I don't know, what do you think about all of those, La?
Honestly, I think it's dead on. I mean, for me personally, I would put mental health as number 2 because you got to prioritize making sure nobody can fuck with you. That's just what it is,
Yeah.
100. Prioritize not allowing other people to affect your life.
Yeah, keep your mind clear. But he goes on to explain, certain things, so I wrote down a few things from his article that really spoke to me, which I wanted to share with you guys. So because I'm the type of person, or I used to be the type of person that would get super overwhelmed with lists. And I thought by me creating a list would help ease that anxiety, because I'm not good with organization. I'll be open and admit that, So I was like, okay. One of my previous bosses was like, you know what, Z, maybe you need to try and just start writing things down. Make a daily list for yourself, monthly, and all this stuff. But I found that it actually gave me a little bit more anxiety because I felt like I had to get everything done that I wrote down for that day. But it's like, no, the things that you don't get done, you can transfer it to the next day, and so on and so on and so on. But it's kind of hard. Like, I would just get pretty overwhelmed. So, you know, that goes into like trying to manage your time and staying on track with things. But so ultimately, this is what Leon Ho wrote that I wanted to share with you guys. So once you have a list of priorities, you'll stand a better chance of implementing changes and decisions that align with your life mission. So everyone is different, and everyone will care about different things. However, some common threads connect us all. So that was not the part that I wanted to read. We're going to go back for a second. Where was it? Right. So as he says, remember, your goal is a target you want to meet in the future. So priorities are those things you need to establish and focus on to meet that target. Once you have a list of priorities, you'll stand a better chance of implementing changes and decisions that align with your life's mission. I thought that was like, yeah, whoa, that's so easy. It is just, so priorities is just the maps to all of the, what do you call it? Wow. New Year's resolutions that I made this year. So it's like, yeah, I have my ultimate dream. Now my priorities is how I'm going to step and walk or run towards that dream. And I'm like, it's so easy. When you put it that way, it's so simple.
Yeah. Like, what's crazy is, like, I've noticed, like, for me, as I've, you know, matured a little bit, a lot of my priorities have stayed the same. However, the intention in which I execute them or deal with them or handle them or the energy I put into them have, like, changed.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do
like,
know what you mean.
You know, like fitness, for example. Like, you know, before you go, like, you know, when you're younger, you go into the gym to reach a goal for just one day. Like, oh, I gotta get fit. I need to fit into this dress because somebody's wedding's coming up. I'm going on vacation. I need to do that. So it's like the goal was like very short and narrow, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like you prioritize the gym with those kind of intentions. And it's like now, it's like I prioritize the gym because, yeah, it's just something I need to be doing forever. And, you know, it's just a part of me. And there's no real reason except for just feeling good and being happy and, you know, getting those results that I want. But it's more of like forever. You know, I'm going to be doing this till the end, you know, where it's like before my mind state was kind of like very short-lived, you know. A lot of my priorities before, they were a priority, but I feel like I didn't put as much effort into executing them, and I also didn't really immerse myself fully into them and, like, understanding why these are my priorities. So why is my family my priority? Yeah. You know what I mean?
So how old would you say you were when you were just kind of like dismissive of like the things that were important? And then how old do you think you were when you tapped into being like, yo, I need to, you know, get my life straight and start being more disciplined with myself and setting these priorities?
For me, honestly, I would say in the past 5 years, I would be saying I'm more intentional with, like, you know, executing my priorities. I'll give you an example. Like, I was always the type of person who had multiple priorities, and I was trying to do all of them at the exact same time, but that doesn't work because certain things trump other things. And on top of that...
And some things take a lot more time and nurturing.
Exactly. So it's like, and when I found myself doing that, I realized, hey, I'm actually not really seeing things through 100%. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is a priority to me, but it's like it's just stagnant. You know what I mean? Like the result is just stagnant, and it's like I'm not really seeing anything through to the end, and then I'll quit. You know?
Yeah.
And quitting and like just putting things on hold was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a big part of like my being, like the way I was. I would just stop doing things, you know, just because like I my intention was there, but it wasn't all the way there, you know.
And that's so funny that you said that. I feel like that's such an important thing to remind yourself, or just to focus on, is the intention. If there's no inspiration or fire or intent behind your goal or the task that you're trying to fulfill or achieve, then it won't be a priority to you. You'll end up quitting. Like it'll end up just falling off the list. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how bad do you want these things that you've laid out for yourself? You know, when people say a lot, because a lot of people can talk, you know, and a lot of people do talk. And, you know, they like to hear the sound of their voice and be like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I want to do this. And it's like, that's great that you want all these things, but what are you going to do to get those things? You know, and I think what you're going to do is the prioritizing. That's what that part is, you know?
Yeah.
And once you realize like that, I know for me, it took me a while to get to that point. I feel like once I got into my 30s, and I feel like most people, once you get into your 30s, you start taking life a little bit seriously, you know? I feel like all of my 20s was like me really exploring, going on adventures, trying to learn about the world, trying to learn about myself. And those were like mini priorities. It's like, okay, I'm going to work to save up money to go on a vacation or to go to Europe for a long extended period of time. That was like a minor priority, you know? And then once I got to my 30s, I started reflecting on, okay, what is the legacy I want to leave? Or like, what do I want to be known for in life? Or what's going to fulfill me for the rest of my life? You start thinking more about future than in the present. But what we don't realize is that our present and what we do today affects that. And once I tapped into that, I was like, okay, now let's go to the drawing boards and actually start writing out my true goals. And it like, okay, what do I want? Do I want to get married? Okay, well, we'll put that a little bit further back. What do I need to do for myself right now? What will make me happy? What do I want? And I feel like I didn't start thinking about my really strict priorities until I tapped into my 30s, because I know now I feel like I'm more aware in this day, like being more mature. I know my wants and my needs now, where I can search for the answer of like, okay, let's say if I want to buy a house. Okay, we'll write that down as a goal. Now what do I have to learn and how much money do I have to save to get there? You know?
Yeah.
And I think it helped me ease up the anxiety and feel like I was behind some people my age, you know?
Yeah. And like now I feel like, you know, as you mature and things like that, you just add, I feel like the whole notion of having priorities it's been a term that has been instilled in our life throughout our entire upbringing,
especially
right?
Like your priorities. You got them old school parents, they're drilling that shit into you, you know?
Yeah, like from the beginning. So, but I think now it's like you look at the term and you just put a word in front of it called mindful, and you just make mindful priorities and just set mindful goals
and decisions and, you know, those choices. Yeah, that's like living with purpose, living with intent. Like, be intentional in every action that you make. Be intentional with every dollar that you're saving. What are you saving that $1 for? You know?
Exactly.
And it's like, it's just literally a switch of the brain. I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I still want to have balance in life, and like, but I can't be reckless anymore, is what I think I tapped into. Is like, okay, girl, you can't be reckless no more. You can't have these like fun bender night, like, you know, living on the edge. It's like, because these things matter, you know? So I'm like, now it's like, yeah, you need to intentionally